got an intriguing bag for you folks to look at. It's like one I've never reviewed before. It's made by an outfit out of the UK called RiutBag, and it's called their X35. And notice here that it looks pretty big and boxy, right? It's a travel bag, but this thing can actually squeeze down, can be folded down origami-like into a daily carry. Let's see how well it works with our first look. It's important to get some perspective on this because I think if you see this without seeing another bag next to it, you might not understand how big it is. Here is the Peak Design Travel Backpack, and when you put these side by side next to each other, you can see that it's bigger, right? And now keep in mind that the Peak Design is in its collapsed state, so perhaps if I pop this guy open, you would see here that it's more equivalent in terms of its size. But because of its box-like structure, it actually does have a little bit more volume, even if it is rated at a 35-liter bag. So let's compare that to this Radial 26, which is a 26-liter bag, and it is a daily carry. And you can see here that there's a pretty significant difference in size there. So clearly, when you look at something like this and you compare it to something like this, you can see that there is, get them back on, there we go, that this is quite a bit bigger. And obviously it's because it's a travel bag, it's not meant to be just a daily carry. And then lastly, so here I have the Tortuga set out, which is their full-size guy here. And now when we put these next to each other, you can see that these are definitely equivalent in terms of their size. But like I've said in the past, this Tortuga, though I love it, it's really big when you try to convert this down to a daily carry. In fact, it really doesn't work as a daily carry. And that's what's interesting about this X35. It claims to be able to fold down to a daily carry size. Okay, so let's take a look around this bag. Again, this is a first look. It's not a review. And again, this, just to let you know, this is RiutBag, and that's how it is pronounced, R-I-U-T. They're out of the UK, and they are designed by a woman who actually, you can see if you watch her video, she actually walks you through how to use this bag. Her name is Sarah, and intriguing videos. Good stuff there. So, one of the most important aspects of this bag is that it doesn't have access, your typical way of accessing from the front of the bag. It's one of those things where in order to prevent thieves from being able to get into your bag very easily, all the access points, all the zippers are on the back side. Now, of course, it does have a couple of water bottle pockets, and you can see here if you unsnap it here and then unsnap it further in here, you can easily fit a large water bottle in here because this polyester is actually very stretchy. And in fact, I think you could even put a couple of tripod legs into there, although there aren't lash straps per se to hold that thing in there securely. One of the things I do want to point this out, and clearly this is just a manufacturing error. When RiutBag sent this bag to me, it was actually missing one of the buttons. So it looks like the button popped off of here, and so there's no way to clip this little tab to the male side. So the female side of the button is missing here. And you'll see that this actually is an important tab in terms of functionality, in order to make this into a smaller pack. So you have one water bottle pocket on that side. You have another one set up the same way over on this side as well. Nothing in the front here, so you can see this diagonal line is actually, there's no zipper along here. You can see that there is a place here for a blinky light in case you're riding on the road with this thing. And then the bottom of the bag here, you can see is a heavy duty, it almost feels like vinyl, but I think it's better material than a vinyl. It looks like it's a coated tarpaulin that'll keep it nice and waterproof. But of course, you are relying on waterproofness of the seams, which they aren't. They're not going to be taped seams there. And then on the very top of the bag, we have a nice padded handle. It's not centrally located, and again, you'll see why that's the case in just a moment when this gets collapsed. And then you have what looks to be a set of lash straps across the top here. And in fact, they aren't really, because it's stitched down right here and right here. And this actually becomes part of the process that you use to shrink this bag down. And then when we take a look at the bag, this is where all the action, on the back, this is where all the action takes place here. Really nicely padded and shaped shoulder straps here, fully adjustable, obviously, and a sternum strap, also adjustable. One of the things that I really appreciate that RiutBag puts in here is they have these little, these catchers, it's essentially a piece of an elastic loop that elegantly holds on to any of the excess amount of strap that would be normally hanging off your bag. And so it keeps it nice and tidy. And anytime you have a place where that would be the case, they have these nice little elastic loops to hold it all together. And this could be folded up even further and held closer to the actual adjustable buckle piece here if you need to. At the very top here, you can see that we have load lifters, although again, load lifters only work really well when the attachment point for the that's attached to the back of the bag is set a little bit higher, but you'll see that these also have another function as well. While this does have a nice padded handle, it also has a loop that you can use to attach this bag to a hook on the wall. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. I'm just going to get these out of the way so you can more readily see what's happening in the bag. Nice open mesh here. It has some EVA foam in the back, so while there's no central channel here, since it is mesh, it is going to allow for some perspiration control here. There's a nice little loop here that allows you to put this over the handle of your rolling luggage, so you don't have to carry it on your back if you're going through the airport. And then at the very top here, you can see we have a secret pocket / pocket here. And you can put any number of things in here. I happen to have it's actually quite large. It's one of the most generously sized secret pockets that I've ever seen here. So I can put headphones into there. The bag itself comes wrapped in this nice big bag. So RiutBag sends their bags inside of this nice reusable bag that you can use as a laundry bag. In fact, I might bring it with me when I travel because it's so convenient in that way. And again, this is such a big pocket. It doesn't span the entire width of the bag, but it's close, and it goes all the way up to the very top of the bag. It's a free. Well, it's not quite a free-moving bag. It is stitched to the very top and front of the bag, but it's a good size, perfectly lined, and it's lined with really nice materials. Something to keep in mind. And there are 2 zipper pulls for this, which is convenient. Most of the time, you only see 1 zipper pull for those types of pockets. And then down here along the lumbar area, there's a nice secret place here where you can put your wallet, maybe your phone, your passport. And in fact, Sarah does even show how, I don't know if I could do it, I'm not quite flexible enough maybe, but you can get access to that without taking the pack off your back. Also, again, 2 zipper pulls here. And then into the main compartment of the bag, so you can unzip this thing, rear access. Actually, this is one of the things that I've been talking about recently is the ability to have rear access when I want to access my camera equipment. So maybe this is going to be a bag that can serve in that way when I get to my destination. So on the back of this guy, you can see here, let me just shift this down, we have 2 mesh pockets, generously sized mesh pockets, not a whole lot of volume, so mostly flat stuff that you'd want to put in here, but because it's mesh, you'll be able to see what you're looking for. And then otherwise, this pocket is actually, again, a generously sized tech pocket. And you can see here I have an iPad. This is a normal the 10.2-inch size iPads, as well as a 13-inch MacBook Pro, which fits right in there. And this is a fully padded pocket, and it's lifted off the ground as well tremendously so that you don't have to worry about putting the bag down and having it impact your laptop. So, nice tech container here. And then let's shift into what is the main compartment. You'll see that there's this mesh here, this mesh divider. sort of like a suitcase has. And you can unzip this. You don't have to have this. You can actually roll this thing up, and there's even, conveniently enough, a nice little a button and loop here that will allow it to sort of hold against itself. And I've just stuck a pillow in here just to fill the volume so you can see how much size there is here. So I'm just going to get rid of that pillow. You can see it's nicely lined with a nice heavy-duty nylon here. And so it's now just a big gaping hole into which you can put your stuff. This is the pocket that I'm talking about up here. You can see how it does, occupy significant volume of this space here. But it doesn't have to be. If you don't use that, this can be squished up against the top very easily, and then you just have this huge gaping area. I think this is larger than 35 liters. It's a pretty generously sized thing. But you can see here, nice bright color too, to allow you to be able to see into the interior of the bag. Let me talk a little bit more about what's going on the outside so I can collapse this thing for you and see how that all works. You can purchase a hip belt to go with this. It's just it's not a padded hip belt. It's simply just one for more stabilization more than anything else. But it's a decent sized hip belt, and it clips into here. And you can see these are branded buckles here. That's kind of cool. And if you don't use that hip belt, then it just tucks away. Kind of wish I had picked up a set of those hip belts so I could test them and see how well they would actually work. Okay, so let's take a look at what you would do to make this bag smaller so that it can actually shrink down to something that you might consider using as an everyday carry. So I don't know if I'm getting this exactly right, but one of the things you want to do is unclip this area right here. These clips are going to be very important in the process of holding the bag together here. And then these load lifters that you see right here, you're also going to unclip them because you're going to have a new load lifter attachment point. So if you squish this together, it it falls together sort of on its own. And tuck those guys out of the way. Notice that the load lifter now attaches to the buckle up top, the higher buckle, or the one further towards the front of the bag, like this. Okay, so that squeezes in the top significantly. And then you can see here, there is a little fabric loop here made out of seatbelt material and a little button tab that goes through it. And then you bring this around and attach it. Right? And then normally you would do the same thing on this side. You okay, Cal? Normally do the same thing on this side. Of course, this one is missing its button, so I can't sort of get it around and attach it, but that would also squeeze this area closed in here. And then when you put this bag on, you don't have to really adjust the shoulder straps at all. You can see that this now has trimmed down significantly. Now it's still pretty wide, but it is trim at the top, and so perhaps you could get away with this as an everyday carry. So there you go, folks. This is the first look of the RiutBag X35. I hope to use this and then do a full review on it for you all. And in the meanwhile, make sure that if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe right here and take a look at my other videos that feature travel bags as well. All right, folks, stay safe.